system, but
okay, so we'll get started. So the project development process, everyone should have received the solicitation. It was released on April 7th. It was approved by the management group at their last meeting, which was the March 27th, I believe. The approach that they approved was to have a conceptual project summary submitted first. So there are two forms. There's the step 1, which is the conceptual project summary form, and then there's a step 2 project information form. So first the conceptual is submitted. There's an initial vetting that the management group will do, and that's for eligibility, so that they meet the minimum eligibility requirements under the Proposition 84 standards, and then also to look at opportunities for integration of projects. Once that's done, the feedback will be given to the project proponents by the management group, and then the project information forms will be prepared and submitted by the project sponsors. And I'll go into the deadlines here in a moment. We're also looking at doing an integration workshop, and that will be where all the work groups get together and discuss the projects that were submitted and look for further integration opportunities. Frank mentioned that meeting earlier. We're hoping for late August. And then there's going to be scoring criteria that the management group is currently developing, and the management group will then apply that scoring criteria and tentatively approve a draft list of projects. There will be another opportunity for stakeholder participation to a prioritization workshop that will happen after that, and then where they can folks can give recommendations on the draft list, and then the management group will take that input and then include that in their final consideration for inclusion in the plan.
How old is this? Is this maybe the under process? Obviously, is sort of initial draft of the IRWM.
Sure. In most IRWMs, there is an annual process where the management group will get together and review projects again, go through their list. I don't know that this management group has set that up yet.
No, but I think they are looking at if this is successful continuing process. I think they're also looking. They're going to have priority projects that they're also looking potentially at the other projects are sort of being included in the plan or something.
And reevaluated over time as those projects are more developed. They will probably, could rise to the top and get into the prioritized list.
You also be looking at the state fund in terms of second projects applied to that process.
I'm not sure how that's going to fit in yet. You know that? I will ask that.
One thing that's of interest here, even if your project isn't a priority project, if your project is part of the IRWM, that will help you get funding to be independent from the job. Because you're consistent with the plan. All this resource management strategies, objectives, and all the stuff we're working on, if it's, if the project is maybe not a priority project, but a project that's listed in the plan, independently, that will help you get grants because you're consistent with the area. You score points through almost an independent source of data, you could say that.
So just to be clear, this is not for an actual grant. This is just for inclusion in the plan. Okay. So there's a number of opportunities for stakeholder participation. There will be a couple of project integration. What I forgot on here is there's 2 project solicitation meetings, and those we're trying to get those scheduled for the first part of May. Those will be informational, where people from the public can just come in and find out more about the process, ask questions about the project development process. And those will be held in various locations. We're probably looking at the Almanor area for one, and then one over in the eastern side of the region. And then there will be the project integration workshop, and that will be in August. And then again, there'll be the project prioritization workshop where folks can have a chance to review what the management group is proposing and provide feedback. And then finally, after the management group has approved the list of projects, they'll go into the draft plan, and then there'll be another public review process there. These are the dates. So it was released on April 7th. The two solicitation meetings will be in early May, and we'll be sending out meeting notices for those. The deadline for the conceptual project summary, which is that step 1, is June 1st. The management group has decided that that is a mandatory step. They want to be able to see all the projects that are before. I think their intent was that before folks go through the long form, they want to be able to vet them first and save them some work or help guide them in the one direction or another. So then after they give feedback on the deadline for the project information forms, the longer one will be August 1st. Integration workshop late August, and selecting and prioritizing at the September management group meeting. And then doing the prioritization workshop after that in October. So this is kind of an opportunity too, if you have any questions about the forms or process. Frank did point out that the project development manual that's mentioned in the instructions for step 1 is kind of hard to find on the website, so I'll go ahead and pull that up and put it with the other forms. Does everyone find it on the website, or should I pull that up? Would that be helpful? It was attached to one of the emails, yeah. Okay.
You're going to learn how to use the map, yeah?
Yeah, I know. Okay. So it's under document, under documents, and it's the red here. So that's the package. Oh, the development manual's right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But that's what the comment was I went to look for it and it was like, under documents, where under documents?
Okay.
And then I had to click around, so.
Gotcha. I couldn't figure out how to make the font bigger, so I made it red so that it would all stand out. But that's the package there, step 1, step 2, and the development manual. And the development manual was it was put together by a different IRWM region to help disadvantaged communities in particular and small districts to go through the process. It provides some really good information as far as step by step how to fill out both this solicitation and grants in general. But the forms to use are the ones that are here, not in the back of the manual. So are there any questions, or have folks looked at it yet?
I've looked at it. My only comment about having gone through this process a couple times for folks here, if you need help with these things, if you have any questions, call somebody that's been through it before. Call me or somebody. Bob's probably been through it a lot. Jerry, anybody. Get the word out to these folks. Don't be afraid to fill this out. We'll help you fill it out. Because I know a lot of people will take a look at this and go, well, I don't know that, or I don't know that, or I don't want to go through the hassle of that. But you really need to get on this list. Come on. And so, spread the word around that being part of this group, you're also going to help them to try to get these projects on paper. And if the management group decides that, yes, that's a project we want to have, then we got a little more paperwork we have to fill out. But at least they'll have a pretty good idea of what they're in for and be a little more appreciative if they get help from the beginning. They're going to go to this extra step and get put on a project list. Because I know that's one of the things that, through my career, it's always been smaller communities, smaller agencies, they don't like to get into the big stuff like this because it's just too much for them. It's overwhelming. So let them know that we're here to help.
Sure. And my contact information is on them, and you can contact me as well. One other thing I wanted to add was that the management group decided that for submittal of the first step, the conceptual level, they wanted to have that entity have signed the MOU, and that's going to be one of their eligibility requirements. So to have a project included in the plan, the project proponent has to be a signatory to the MOU. The MOU is on the website. It's actually down here, the draft memorandum of understanding. And so you can download it here and take it to your boards for signature. This is what it looks like. And I can also email it out again. And that's the question I have is that I believe they've been mailed out once before and they've been emailed out a couple of times. What is the best way to get this out to districts, do you think? Is it by mail or email or? Email? Okay.
A lot of districts on here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
The ones that aren't there is not going to affect the company. The last thing I say is,
Okay.
you really want to do that when you're in the construction.
Okay.
It's a tedious process, but that's
Okay.
And we are glad to hold more answers.
Yeah.
Although you're under the veil of the CSD, so you'll need to get the CSD to sign the MOU.
Is there a, it says draft or final?
Yeah, this is a PDF, isn't it? I can email you the Word document, or you can change that.
do you still have the copy of the resolution?
I do.
Why don't you send that with them too?
I can send that with them.
Yeah.
So
For the CSDs, and it's typically you'd be a signatory on an MOU by resolution, and UMA will send you a copy where you just got to change the name, and it should work for it pretty well.
It's the one you developed, right?
Yeah, it's the one with Brian Morris.
How many folks are signatories? Is it a dozen or so?
6.
Everybody's falling behind right now. And so we're getting
Very
engaged.
good incentive.
Yeah,
For sure.
that's why the management group said that. I looked at it and go, you better get your
Yeah.
people that support you on getting that done. Probably ought to get rid of that weird draft.
Yep, I'll do that.
Any expectation of numbers of projects that you guys
You know, it varies so widely by different region. It just depends. The more the better, really. That we could get a really good suite of projects, and they're likely going to categorize them, restoration projects, municipal projects, categorize them by various categories, and then as solicitations come down from the state, they usually have a specific target, like a drought solicitation or, some sort of, so then they can just take suite of projects from each one of those categories or the appropriate category. So the more we have, the better. And even ones that, I imagine there'll be a prioritized list and then a list that they're not quite there yet, but to be tracked or something like that.
So in your case, you guys are getting some information on
I think Lahontan or Tahoe, Sierra, Irwin has something like 60 projects on their list. Yeah, I imagine it'll be something around there, yeah. Some have more, some have less.
Good time. Being aware of some of the infrastructure issues in the county, community development, participating in financing some. What do you see out there for projects that are not sitting at the table?
Well, nobody's really covered this lately, other than the rent. So I don't know where anybody's really at. How's that going? You got a new thing going.
Oh, I'm going to help pull that basket.
Yeah, I'm sure. But you got.
You are too, right? I got one for sure, which is the water.
Yeah.
You have 5?
Typically, if we were going to go out for CDBG money, which you can't this year, or the application deadline, or we hope to next year if we
Don't have a housing element.
an update of that. That usually begins with a, well, we can ask around, but it usually begins with a initial public hearing for people to come to us with projects, which may be infrastructure based. And then kind of the rest is what and now you go in for, what is it, about $2 million? You can have a series of projects. You have one big project.
Well, actually, we went for 2.2.
Oh, they raised it, they get even a little more?
And we got, I think it was 2.2, it might have been 2. We got different.
Yeah, the state has changed the funding application process where it used to be planning was one time of the year and general allocation was another thing. Now it's all rolled into one big super low fund. So 2012 is the first. But I don't have like what's the one that is public. It's really range.
Are there any other questions about the project process?
Any questions about the form? Yes,
He says it forms of
So that's the Word version. I emailed out Word versions also. I just thought that those versions would be easiest to
Are
fill
you
out.
getting those?
So the last thing I wanted to go over is that we are supposed to start developing recommendations for the resource management strategies. I put together, so this is going to be a homework for folks to do and to get back to me. There's a a document in your, right before the project solicitation forms in your packet. It's called Resource Management Strategy Recommendations. It's about 9 pages. This is just for the priority ones that we had already identified to address. And as we develop recommendations, I thought it would be helpful to have some examples. So I pulled out the recommendations that came directly out of the California Water Plan. And you'll see, for example, for urban water use efficiency, you'll notice that some of those are directly related to DWR is tasked to do something, or a state agency is tasked to do something. I left those in there to just kind of help generate some ideas on how maybe that could be translated down to the local level. So again, these are just ideas to read through and to, if you think they're good ideas, then we can put them forward. I also included some examples from some neighboring regions, Lahontan region. Some of them were from the greater Monterey County, IRWM, others from the upper SAC. So again, just some ideas. And these are for the 6 original priority RMS, and then I will pull out the same information for the newer, the ones that we selected today. Am I missing anything? Or?
I don't think so. I was just one of the funny things about this is like this sentence says California regulatory agencies such as the State Water Resources Control Board and CDPH. CDPH doesn't exist anymore. In the drinking water division went over to the State Water Resources Control Board. So when you're reading through that, realize that the drinking water side of CDPH no longer exists on the State Water Resources Control Board side.
Okay.
And they're called the Division of Drinking Water, I think is what he said.
So each of these may not be applicable, so just kind of go through it and use it as a guide, and it's encouraged to come up with ones that are really relevant to this region. So if we could start working through that, and maybe by May 15th, send some recommendations to me. I can send this out as a Word document, and you guys can edit it. Does that work? Easier for folks? Okay, I'll go ahead and I'll follow up with an email next week with that. Any questions on that?
You want us to just take a look at the focus areas that are listed here, or you can just for example, which focus areas you use? So, like this is the LMS2, which is for efficiency.
Well, I think the way to start would be to go through and see if any of these that are listed here are relevant. Again, these all came out of the California Water Plan, so some of them are directed to state agencies and some of them are directed to local. Some of the state ones may, may be made relevant to the local level. I'm not sure. So I left them in there just to generate ideas, and then you can feel free to look around at other Irwin plans for ideas. I did include some ideas at the end of each one. Okay, makes sense. So really, the next step is to continue working on developing the projects. We have those deadlines, the June 1st deadline and the August 1st. Review and provide comment on the baseline technical study, and then work on developing the RMS recommendations. And those are kind of our 3 tasks for the next few months. And I will follow up with emails next week, kind of detailing the homework assignments. So the next meeting for the next meeting for the management group is May 29th. So we should probably meet a couple of weeks after that, maybe mid-June. Oh yeah, no. Oh. Okay. Middle of June. So is there, do we want to set that right now? Is there a day of the week? Do Fridays work best for folks?
Usually.
Yeah, a lot of these meetings are ending up on Fridays.
Yeah, that's normally my boss. He can generally
Okay. So we'll look at June. June 19th, maybe?
Yeah, I'm not going to get because I know June's pretty full for me already, so I didn't bring my focus.
Okay.
Maybe we'll just ask for dates. We'll send out the email next week.
Sure. You guys want to do that? When I send out the email next week, I could send out a couple of dates and folks could just Okay.
Yeah. Yes. You go like this to June and you go, oh, I don't want to look at it. It's not even May yet.
Okay. We will hold off on that then. So I guess then, yeah, we can wrap up and expect some emails from you next week. Thank you guys so much for sticking in there and for all the feedback and help.
Okay.
Do you have any questions on the project? Ask. Okay. Thanks, Frank, for making this very easy. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Some of this stuff's pretty dry. No comment.
I know.